Hey guys, it's me Giuseppe, and today I'm at the at-home store to see their Halloween display. Let's go see what they've got. Alright, so starting off right here, we have this cool shark with a pumpkin inflatable, and then next to him we have a ghost that goes inside the pumpkin and then pops out. It's like a little jump scare inflatable, but it's not really a jump scare because he comes out pretty slowly. And then right here we have a huge row of pumpkins, which is super cool. It's inflatable, and there's also a cat on top of this one. And then we got a unicorn skeleton right there. And then over here we have a giant pumpkin stack with a ghost popping out of one of the pumpkins, which is super cool. And then moving on right here, we have like a prisoner dog type thing, which he's a lot smaller than all the other things. And then we got a cool Frankenstein's monster. Then coming up right here, we have this cool inflatable tree, which is super cool. That one's always a classic, a scary tree. Let's move on to the next thing. So right here, we have this super cool skeleton flamingo inflatable, which is honestly pretty interesting. I never quite seen anything like it. And then right here, we have some classic pathway markers, skeleton hands doing funny poses, projectors, and all kinds of other stuff. And then those right there. But let's move on to the next thing. So right here, we have this Fury Pumpkin Reaper groundbreaking inflatable, which is super cool. And he's actually pretty cool looking. I might consider getting him with the lights inside of his head, the pumpkin head, which is cool. Then we got like this trick-or-treater pumpkin skeleton type guy, which is pretty cool. And then moving on, we have a head-moving black cat inflatable, which is honestly pretty cool. And then we got like a scary-looking pumpkin. He's got a interesting face on himself. But this cat is super cool. Then we have a two-headed serpent, which looks like a dragon, or I guess it is actually a snake, which is pretty cool. But that's a super cool inflatable. And then right here we have the $200 giant skeleton dog. This thing is huge. He is 13.5 feet tall. He's absolutely massive. But there are some Halloween props that are bigger than him that you might see pretty soon. But this guy is awesome. Let's move on to the next thing. Yes, so here's the bigger thing. The 12-foot haunted house inflatable. This thing is absolutely giant. This looks like a real haunted house. This would be awesome to have in your yard on Halloween. It's the same price as the dog, which is kind of interesting, but I guess the dog is like a lot bigger in width, so it makes sense. And then we got a scary looking cat on a pumpkin, and then another inflatable cat. Then moving on right here, we have some more lights, pathway markers, classic pumpkins. And then we got like this flying dragon thing, and then another skeleton dog. But how does this work? Oh, he's tied to a pole, but I wonder if he can go on the ground, or you have to have something to hang him on in your yard on Halloween. But that's super cool. Let's move on to the next thing. So right here, we have like a witch, pumpkin, spider inflatable, and then the classic projector inside of him, spider inflatable. And then right here, we got another ghost inflatable, and then a pumpkin with a witch hat. And then this is like a beach ball kind of inflatable. They got a pumpkin and then a casket, which is interesting. But those are pretty interesting. But let's move on to the next thing. Right here, we got our first animatronic type prop of the video. It's the 5-foot shaking scarecrow. So I'll turn him on for you guys. Okay, so he was super cool. And then right here we have these cinnamon scented brooms, which are interesting. Never really seen those before, but those are pretty cool. Then right here we got the 7-foot hanging ghost and the 7-foot light up hanging witch, which is pretty cool. You can kind of see the lights. It's inside of the head. And then right here we got these black cat giant plushie type things with some Halloween pink ghost pillows. And then right here, this is kind of weird. It's a Halloween-themed Christmas tree, which is kind of interesting. But this seems like it's just Halloween because of the ornaments on it, which it's actually just a black Christmas tree that they are selling, because they do actually have some Christmas stuff in store here right now. Well, anyways, let's move on to the next thing. So right here we got a triple character Bluey inflatable, which is super cool. And then right here we got like a Frankenstein. Oh, actually, I guess it's 4 characters, because this Frankenstein Bluey inflatable thingy is connected to these guys, which is super cool. And then we got a pumpkin, and then a Happy Halloween sign with a cat on top of it. And then one of these cool looking classic ghosts. And then we got a giant pumpkin right here. That'd be cool if this pumpkin existed in real life. And then we got the holiday after Halloween, Thanksgiving, which is interesting. This guy's a turkey with a pumpkin that says "gobble till you wobble." But that's interesting that they already have a Thanksgiving inflatable, and then he's with the Halloween stuff, considering it's not even October yet, which is pretty cool. But anyways, let's move on to the next thing. So right here we got like a van with a witch, a skeleton, a ghost, another skeleton, some pumpkins on top, which is super cool. This is an interesting inflatable. And then we got this guy that I did see at the same store last year. It's the inflatable Spooky Squad truck, which is super cool. This thing will be awesome to have in your yard on Halloween. It's a giant inflatable. It's 10.5 feet. It's absolutely massive. And then we have this headless horseman type inflatable, which the horse does move back and forth, which is super cool. I always love the moving Halloween inflatables, and the Christmas ones too. Those are always my favorite kinds of inflatables. But these guys right here are super cool. I believe the at-home store did sell both of these last year, but it's awesome to see them again here for the 2025 season. Let's move on. Alright, so moving on, right here we got some classic hanging skeleton guys. I believe they're like 5 feet or whatever. They're pretty cool. And then we got the 10-foot posable skeleton, which he did look a lot different last year at the store. The one at this store this year does look a lot better and cooler. I believe this one does, yeah, it does say it has LCD eyes, like the Home Depot one, which is super cool that they gave him an upgrade at the at-home store for this year. It's super cool to see him in person again with his upgraded design and stuff, which is super cool. Then we got like a Grim Reaper type throne thing. How much does this cost? This is like it's like a blow mold of some sort, and it is $500. Wow, that's a pretty expensive Halloween prop, but it's still pretty interesting. And then we got our next animatronic, which is the violinist skeleton. He's 5 feet tall, and he does have a step button, so I'll turn him on.
One, come to listen to my sinister strain. Stay too long and go back my in the world's pale glow, shadows dance to my heart's melody. They whisper forgotten secrets, lost in the fields of time. Beware, for curiosity, violence, and spectrous dreams. As the last note fades, the veil between realms thinks, the doctor turns, and madness beckons. Please now wonder, will forever be ensnared by my cursed compositions.
Wow, that guy ran for almost over a minute, which is pretty cool. He basically plays the violin. It's like, it has real strings on it. It's like a real violin, but he's super cool. Let's move on to the next thing. So right here, we have the pop-up Pumpkin Reaper guy, which is super cool. We saw her last year, but we did not see this guy last year. He's basically a reskin of her, but I'm gonna turn him on first before we go to her, which we did see last year. But let's turn him on. Yeah, so he's super cool. He basically does the same thing as her. They both have pop-up heads. And while we're right here, I'm going to turn her on. Yep, so they're both really cool. They're great jump scare animatronics. These would also be awesome to have on Halloween. They're super cool. And her head does pop up a little faster, I noticed, which is super cool. But they're both still really cool, and they're awesome to see in person. Let's move on to the next thing. So right here we have the 7-foot Night Reaper. He is like a giant Reaper skeleton type guy. And I don't know if he's motion activated. I don't see a step button. I'm not sure. That's interesting. Okay, so I've looked everywhere. I can't find something to turn him on. He's not motion activated. I don't know if he's plugged in or anything, but he just will not turn on, which kind of sucks because he looks really cool in real life. I'm kind of sad we didn't get to see him running, but even without moving, he still is super really cool. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, so right here we have the 6.5-foot Dapper skeleton. He is super loud, so I believe the workers at the store did turn off his voice box, which is still cool. He's been running since I've gotten here. He's on motion sensor. He has been just running. You can hear the motors inside of him moving. Now he's not turning on. Oh, there we go. But he's still super cool. They did have him last year. He's a little bit different than last year, but he does not sing his songs like he did last year due to it being so loud, but he's still super cool. Let's move on to the next thing. So right here behind all the animatronics, we have all the boxes and everything for all the animatronics, the inflatables. This is super cool. We got this cool light up statue guy right here. His eyes light up. He's like a Reaper type guy. We got this candy bowl guy. His eyes also light up. He's super cool. He's like a skeleton butler. We got this giant candle thing right here. And that's pretty much it for this aisle. We also have this giant blow mold angel tombstone, which is super cool. Let's move on to the next thing. Right here we have the skeleton area that was last year. The 10-foot skeleton over there was on this last year. This year he's not. Now this is interesting. This is like the Lowe's 12-foot mummy. This is his exact head, which is interesting. We got some smaller 3-feet skeletons, the funny skeleton arm hands doing poses, bat skeletons, dog skeletons, spider skeletons, little cat skeletons. This giant skull that its eyes light up is super cool. We got this other giant skull, and he has a bloody dead hand on top of his head, which is funny. We got this skeleton bust thing right here that his eyes light up. We got lots of other skeleton things. We have a skeleton dinosaur skull, which is pretty cool. It's honestly pretty interesting. We got all kinds of other little skeleton type things. We got those candles we already saw up there. And then over here we have a skeleton bird's nest. That's interesting. We have another mummy skull thing right here. This one's black, so it's not like the Lowe's 12-foot one. We got some more 5-foot posable skeletons. An owl, and then a bunch of other skeleton stuff. Let's go see what else they have. Right here, they have all kinds of gravestones, and lots of bloody dead heads up in here. Here's one right here. The hands, too, that were on top of that giant skull. Another one of these giant skull things. A dragon. Lots of dragons. These are like tombstone type dragons. They're super cool. Then we got this giant, this is the thing. The angel tombstone. This thing is super cool. And then we got like these black cloak guys things that hold lanterns in their hand, which is super cool. And then we got a few more tombstones, and then that's it for this area. Let's go see what else they have. So finishing off the tour right here, we got some more little skeleton animals. An armadillo, like this is stuff I've never seen before. These are some interesting little skeleton animals, but all this stuff was super cool. This is a super cool year for At Home. They had lots of cool Halloween stuff. I'll go see if they have anything else. Alright guys, thanks for watching. This was a super cool tour. This at-home store for the 2025 season had lots of super cool animatronics, just like last year. It was awesome. I found out they had Halloween stuff last year in 2024. This is my second year coming to At Home to do a Halloween tour. It was super awesome. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.